We're joined this morning by our good friend Brian Pete, Director of the Riley County Police Department, and we're talking about a new study that was released regarding homelessness and resources, particularly there in Riley County. And I know you guys have been meeting since this summer. What are some of the key findings?
Well, since July of this year, we've had a perception and seen an actual increase in visual homeless. So when you think about homelessness, you think of a lot of people think of someone who's living out in the street in the elements, and we've seen an uptick in that. And out of a lot of concern for our business, from our business owners and from our community, we convened a study or a working group who released a study, and that study's now on our website, RCPD, and we found that we have seen there is an increase in folks coming into our community, and there's more need that's going around. So we're, with the grace of the Chamber of Commerce and other partners, we're working on solutions to get resources to people a lot faster to help them move forward.
I think maybe what is concerning is we have seen for a very long time here in the capital city what you refer to as the visible homeless. And then within the last year or two, we began to see that in Lawrence. And now I don't guess really that I realize, certainly people who live there in Riley County, that you're starting to see people struggling with that in Manhattan when that's not something that we really had before. So when you're looking at homeless, what is the definition that you guys are going by? Because it's not always, like you said, the visible homeless who are maybe literally on the streets and sleeping in tents.
Yes, there's lots of unfortunately pathways to homelessness, and there are folks who are couch surfing. There are folks who are doubling up in different places, and the unified school districts like 383, they're tracking those numbers. People who are living in shelters, it just varies, and it
doesn't mean that you don't have a roof over your head. It means that you don't have a permanent home for yourself or your family.
Yes, you don't have that stability, and I think a lot of us find ourselves in a situation that we're one tragedy away from that.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing is that we just have to have mutual compassion and understanding that it can happen to any of us at any given time, whether it's the unfortunates of finances, whether it's mental health or physical health. These things do happen. So from our perspective, we, the economy's getting worse, holidays are coming up, and we want to make sure that people have the resources they have. And I think, as you mentioned with Lawrence, one of the things is in looking to helping people. I think what we found is every community within the state, every community within the nation has a responsibility, I think, to work and try to help their community get a foothold and move out of homelessness through resources rather than dwindling the resources that are within that community, which forces individuals who are falling upon hard times to go into other communities, and then it overwhelms the resources.
We can't solve everyone else's problems, but we can start here at home with our own neighbors. So what are you finding there in Riley County? What resources do you have, and what resources did you identify that you still need?
So we found that we are actually doing pretty well in our communications and partnerships with each other as far as stakeholders. We do that. But I think, like any community, we've only planned and have the resources to deal with the populations of need within our community. So we have folks coming out from outside, from different states, who are attracted to Manhattan. We're unfortunately not able to sustain that type of service. So as we're working to try to gather more data, it's good for us to start with a communication system, and we're looking at a system from a company called Gelada, which allows us to track the amount of services that we're all doing and identify any potential gaps.
What are the next steps, and what can residents do?
Well, we can, our next steps are to look at what local ordinances are, to look at, again, what our local resources are. How are we doing this with compassion, with empathy, but how we're also enforcing the laws and the regulations for accountability. So those are the next steps. And then for our community, it's to reach out in this year of need, to reach out to the Flint Hills Breadbasket, to reach out to Masai, to reach out to Be Able, to reach out to Kanza, to all of our stakeholders. And the need's a little bit higher, and we're just asking for that opportunity.
All right. Thank you so much, Director Pete. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Stay with us because we're back right after this.